from the heart of an accordion.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens during this speech. The topic of my speech is to organize your thoughts. And in other words, to do this, we have to keep in mind that the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. As for my accordion, my wife tells me nobody can look more disorganized. She watches me very often. She says, your right hand is doing one thing. Your left hand is doing another thing. Your feet are tapping. Your voice is singing or saying something else, and your bellows are going out, and they're going in. Isn't that a lot that we can relate right there to giving a speech? All that's going on in us when we speak. It's not just our lips and our vocal cords. Here's an example of a main thing that has no organization. Etc. I was doing the right thing, but I was doing it in the wrong places. The left hand was correct. That's a good rhythm. The right hand had the right notes. However, mentally, I was in two different places. I got lost. Sometimes we get mixed up when we're doing our presentations. We write it out, it looks good. We tried it at home, felt good, but we get here, and all of a sudden there are things that happen. And we have to reorganize our thoughts as we go over and over things. Some of our thoughts are big thoughts. They're whole steps. Some of our thoughts are half steps. And we learn to use both of them as we go along. What we fall back on is our reorganization, our rewriting, which once again makes us very logical, like the accordion is a good place to fall back to. The accordion is very logical. It's very mathematical. Music is very mathematical. Our thoughts are very logical and mathematical. Sometimes we get lost in the process. Sometimes it's because we've gone beyond our capability. And we have to back up when that happens, because we have a nervous system that can only handle so much. And we have to come back a little and get to know ourselves again. But it is a good mathematical place to begin. In the bass, the keys go up in fifths. C, G, D, A, E, and they go down in fourths. Aren't you glad you asked about that? I thought you would be. We have all the right things in place, but sometimes there's something else that we have to add to our words. Our words can be much like the beginning musician. The beginning musician plays all of the technical things correctly. Very correct. However, something is missing in our words or in our notes. We had the rhythm, we had the melody. We were tense though. The happiness, the joy wasn't showing. And we have to realize that technology is wonderful, but it's our spirit that we have to breathe into it for the life. Our spirit gives us what we need to say. Maybe it's French. Maybe it's a Greek thought. Maybe it's lively like the Irish. maybe it's Latin, Spanish. Same notes, but different spaces. Think of all we can do with notes. Just 12 notes and their relationships. 12 words, what we can say with just 12 words. With our spaces, what are our spaces? Accordion has half spaces and whole spaces. And we find out what our space is as we go along. We organize ourselves with our technique, our passions, our feelings, and we empty the personal into what we have to say. We strip on our discipline and we hold up the end of our weight. We play our song with our words. We find ourselves. And as Mr. Maletta said to me, one of the accordion teachers here, store owners, who had 1,000 accordion students in Yakima Valley in 1950. Think about it, everybody. That's something to raise your hopes to. They're around here somewhere. You're never far from them. There is more to this story, but we'll have to wait till later because we must be close to getting to a closing. So I will just say what Mr. Maletta said to me. I asked him, before he passed away, Mr. Maletta, he's 94, how can a young guy like me get into the music business? He's always had that smile on his face. I loved it. He started in vaudeville. So he said, Gary, 2 things. Number 1, always try to make people happy. Number 2, always be yourself. Number 3, shine your shoes. Madam Toastmaster.